I got a good start for us.
I wanna touch the stars.
How's everybody doing out there?
Come back down.
Welcome to the Mark Inspires Show.
I wanna touch the stars.
1,842 days in a row with you beautiful people.
I'll take you away. Let me take you away. We'll take a long ride out of town. I wanna touch the stars. Say goodbye to it all for now. Find yourself in Pueblo, Colorado, yeah. Up in the clouds and climbing high. I wanna touch the stars. Touch the stars. No looking back, no. The sun is setting, the moon is shining down. I wanna touch the stars. Touch the stars. You touch the stars before you come back down to planet. I wanna touch the stars before I come back down. The rising sun, you take me away again. You take me on another ride. I wanna touch the stars before I come back down. I wanna touch the stars. Touch the stars before I come back down. Oh, I wanna touch the stars before I come back down. I wanna touch the stars before I come back down. Oh, I wanna touch the stars before I come back down. Touch the stars before I come back down. come back down.
Written live.
I wanna touch the stars.
What is going on, my fam and friends? Welcome
I was walking down the road today
to the Mark Inspire Show. Day 1842 in a row, part 2, guys. We're at it again. Another show. What are we going to do tonight, Mark? Probably going to play some music, but I have a few news stories. Apparently they found alien life. Now, what kind of alien life, we're going to find out in a minute. I'm going to read the story. James Webb, it's all over the news. Is it? I don't even know. I just saw it, and I said this would be pretty cool for us to start the show with a news story about alien life. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them, and we'll get into it. Barella's here. Helen Gale Townsend's here. S. Coop in the house. Trish Killian. And over here on TikTok from the top, I got to see a couple people, Coco and Eddie Santiago. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We're about to get into it. Longest running daily variety show on the planet, 1,842 days in a row, part 2 today. And we had an awesome show this morning. We do every day. I dropped a piece of content from it about this moment that we all share. It is the only moment that is and always has been. And all creation of time, every single historical event happened in this moment here. We share it. It's pretty cool that we share this moment, but we don't really center on it. We don't ground ourselves into it. But we do that here every single night. We're going to write some music. We're going to play some songs for you. I'm sitting on a drum that I invented. It's called the BeatSeat. You kick it. You play it with your hands and feet. You don't have to bend over to access the panels. And it sounds freaking amazing. So I hope everybody's doing well. Let me see if I can try to adjust a few things here. I got all kinds of things set up here, and I don't know what's going on. I think I set the volume a little too high on the microphone. But the other day it was too low. I'd rather be a little too loud than a little too low in the mix. I got Joanne here. She's wheezing. I'm sure you guys can hear her loud and clear. She's back there. Barella. Guys, when Barella comes out, it's a party in itself. So I'm over on TikTok, but the background is much better on YouTube, guys. Head over there. You're going to see a news story when we get into it. I got a little twist in it today, guys, because I don't want you just staring at the same thing the whole time. I got something that's going to, I think it'll be pretty cool. We'll see how it works out. See if you enjoy it. And I've got about 3 or 4 news stories for you tonight. Some good ones, really good ones. And then I got a guitar sitting here. Matt Zabrowski, of course, is right there about to hit you with a woo-hoo. Number 2 of the day. You know, what's that, Joanne? No, Joanne. Down the hall on the right. And when you mention a number 2, Joanne's got to do a deucer, you know. Joanne, please turn on the Turbo Exhaust 5001. Kill the neighbor. Remember, you have that setting. Please turn it to that. Guys, Zabrowski, we're going to get a woo-hoo from him. Zabrowski, do me a favor. Can you just drink the rest of your yoo-hoo? We got people here on TikTok, people here on YouTube. They're ready for the show.
Something to die for, yeah.
Zabrowski! Matt Zabrowski hitting you woohoo. Guys, also 1775 Bible night. Zabrowski! Woohoo! You did it. You know, that's like biblical on its own. Right? Zabrowski, were you in the Bible? We're going to find out. Get a 1775 here. We may see, like, thou shalt not experience and appreciate a woohoo from Zabrowski. You know? And then I'm sure somewhere in there it says, by Menon. You know, by Menon was absolutely created somewhere in biblical times. You know? What's that, Zabrowski? No, Zabrowski, I don't know, like 7.6. Zabrowski, you're not always bringing us a Grammy-worthy performance. You know? Of course, Matt Zabrowski is the first and only woo-hoo winner of a Grammy for that song. I wrote the song. Zabrowski gets the Grammy. They don't even listen to the song. They just went right to the woo-hoo. Because it was such a good woo-hoo. But tonight, Zabrowski, 7.6, you know? Sometimes you have to give Zabrowski a little punch in the gut, you know, so he brings it tomorrow. I want him to bring a woohoo out of the can, you know. Woohoo! Yeah, Zabrowsk! No, grab your check and get the fuck out of here. You know? He's going to start complaining about his rating for the day. Barella says he's only giving you a 7. That's all you're getting from Barella, you know. Anyway, guys, I do have a guitar, but let's get first into this news story, right? I want to see if we can pull it up on the screen for you here. So, guys, TikToking it. Hit the link above in my bio to YouTube. Subscribe, turn on the bell, hang out with the fam and friends here. I got Trish Gillian in the house and S. Coop, Leisure number 7's here. Pueblo, Colorado. Guys, it's in the last song you just heard. Here we go. So this news story, kind of cool, I think. Well, we'll find out if there's anything to it. It may just be one of those flash pieces. Look, this is my trick. Look at that, guys. We have a trick tonight. You're going to see it. All right, so let's get this looking correct. So I don't want you just looking at this stories. You know, it's just wacky if you're just staring at a story the whole time. So let's do this. I think this will be better. Get a little video as well. Zabrowsk, are you still here? Can you please tell Joanne to stop wheezing? Wait. Gosh almighty, Joanne. Just let it pass. Just let it pass, guys. Just let it pass. Joanne! What in the freaking heck did you eat today? Right? Guys, so let's get into it. Angel Pereira, how are you, my friend? So, guys, this is the new gig. In the background, you get a little video. Space travel, you know? There we go. How's that? Is that good, guys? Doing it. So, we're going to just read the story for you, but you're not just looking at a picture. You got a little video playing in the background. Let's see how this is, and let's see what the news story has to say. If you guys don't know, I give you full news stories here. This isn't just the fluff. We're reading the entire story for you. We do it every day. If you haven't seen my stories yet, subscribe. I drop them every day. And this right here. No, that's not the one. Where the freaking heck? You know, when you... Oh, here we go. Rumors circulating that James Webb has discovered life on another world. What kind of life, you ask? Let's find out. No, but... What the hell does that mean? Ars Technica reports that the persistent rumor that the James Webb Space Telescope has found a planet with strong signs of life has recently hit a new high among the scientific community. A lot of the hype may be overblown, but at the very least, the specifications and speculation reflects the Space Telescope's extraordinary promise in the field of exobiology. Though a NASA official told Ars that no definitive evidence has been found so far, they acknowledged the possibility of a huge discovery on the horizon that, sorry folks, would take years worth of follow-up research to confirm. Well, what in the freaking hell did you say that for? This is what I'm talking about. They hit you with the doom and gloom story. You're going to get killed by aliens. When? Well, we don't even know if they exist. We need like 20 years in order to go through the research. Well, by then, we've been destroyed. Have you seen the UAPs? They're already done it. They're going into the water. And then, pew, you know? Oh, we're not sure if there's aliens. Okay. It may just be us. This has been my theory for a very long time. It's actually us from the future. We're time travelers, and we look like shit now. And we come back in time to try to hook up with, and you know, I don't know. There's something weird going on. It's a time travel thing. But we're just looking at humans way distantly, you know, in the future. And again, looking pretty shitty these days, you know. And, you know, when they come back, we're like, oh, green and like, you're like gray with the weird eyes and slits for nose, you know. Yep, I'm you, buddy. Could be. You never know. It's an answer worded to tamp down any sort of rumors, but it certainly leaves the door open for some exciting possibilities. And no, not a hard no in Ars analysis. Confirmation needed. The hype elevated by near mythic capabilities of the James Webb stems from the telescope's detection of the potential biosignature. I think we need to do it to somebody. I can't just do this normally because it's not a real story anymore. We found out they need like 37 years to figure this crap out. So what celebrity impression should I do the news as today, guys? Let's hear it. Let me see. I'm going to go over here to the chat. Let's see who wants it. Give me a guys. Who do you want to hear? You know? Oh, I will, Angel. Thank you so much. Head over to YouTube, buddy. Link it's not in the bio, but if someone could put the link to the channel on the page here, that would be awesome because Angel can join us on the tube where we do it. So basically what we have here, rumors are circulating, right? Let's get back into the story. Share. I don't know if I know how to do share. Give me an impression. Somebody you'd like to hear. Christopher Walken, Al Pacino, Owen Wilson, Richard Dreyfuss, Jeremy Irons. We could really do anybody, I guess, but just kind of throw it out there and I'll see what we can do. Share, I don't think I could do. Yeah, baby. Oh, Walken. All right, here we go. Barella wants me to do Christopher Walken reading the news about the alien. Actually, it makes perfect sense, right? Barella, it makes perfect sense because of what we're reading here. The hype elevated by the near mythic capabilities of the James Webb. Oh, it stems from the telescope's detection of the potential biosignature on the exoplanet Ikato 18b last year. The suspected ocean world around 8.6 times more massive than Earth in the approximately 120 light years is away. Away you come back. Nighttime, according to us. He's got an us on his face, like a G-hole. Excitement over the discovery was this. I can't. We did a paragraph. That's enough as Christopher Walken. According to us. He's an ass, right? Hammerlin Jameson. According to ours, excitement over the discovery was just documented and revived by a recent article in The Spectator titled, "Have You Just Discovered Aliens?" which features opinions from respected figures of the astronomy community, including a tantalizing quote from CNBC's interview with a British astronaut, Joanne. She's wheezing in the background again, guys. Hammerlin Jameson's really only someone I can do if I put my mustache on. Where's my mustache? You're like, you don't have mustaches. I do. I have like 9 of them. I just have to find them. They're like hiding. I haven't used it in a while. That's the thing. We haven't done Hammer Jammer in a bit. Hammer Jammer! He drinks about a bottle of Jameson per story. If you get him at the beginning of the story, he's all right. Halfway through, he starts speaking like Swahili or something, Oh, sorry, I forgot this is English. He does that all the time, If you haven't seen the Supermark video where Hammerlin Jameson tries out for Supermark, it's probably one of the funniest things I've ever done. Of course, he didn't get the part. No, Supermark. This played by me. Hammerlin, he's back there. He's just licking his wounds, That's what happens when you tutor-looter and it becomes a shart while you're trying to do takes as Supermark. It's a Hammerlin Jameson special, they call that one. So, guys, I guess, story is not really a story, okay? Yeah, we have alien life. You do? Well, we don't really freaking know. There could be. We got data. You got data? Can we see the data? This video here is more interesting than the data that they have in the James Webb. Oh, we found a planet that looks like it could harbor life. There's 5,256,272, Biden math amount of planets out there that could sustain life. James Webb, right? James Webb left the astronaut program 2 weeks before Apollo went to the moon. Guys, yeah, no, we went. Yeah, have you seen the footage? I did a really funny piece of comedy about how the first man on the moon was really named Chuck. He's the guy holding the camera, and he's zooming in on Armstrong as he's getting out, and then when they take off, someone had to zoom in and, get that pan just perfect as that stupid fake ship was pulled up by a tether without any rocket, at all, or any sort of dust or anything that would be shooting around from a rocket propulsion system, because there was none. But guys, we went, right? Can't go anymore, though. We don't have the technology. It would be painful to figure that out, so we just don't. We're just like, we'll figure out the Van Allen belt now. Let's figure it out now. Guys, we'll have to figure out this dangerous part of space with the Van Allen radiation belts before we could explore other places like the moon and Mars. Okay. So you went there with aluminum foil? Tin foil? I'm sorry. I joke, I joke. I'm sure we went. And they were really proud when they came back with their heads down during that, news press conference. That was awesome to see, too. Have you guys ever seen that? You should look that up. The first news press conference with the astronauts after they went to the moon. Go watch that. They're like, these people look like they're so embarrassed that they have to put this lie out there for the rest of their lives. Because they're all like, look, we can't freaking go. What are we going to do, Oh, goodness, The other thing I never really thought of before, someone showed a video the other day of this, how in the vacuum of space, rockets don't work. There's nothing for it to, there's no propulsion. So it's like, and they were showing an example. I was like, wow, just like rockets go, there's nothing. Just like the same thing, you can't hear anything in the vacuum of space at all. Like you could hit a hammer right next to a microphone and you won't even hear it because there's no sound. And they said that, like, it's creepy because it's a negative sound. There's a room here in the United States that was created. It's the most soundproofed room in the world, and there's a $1 million reward if you could spend 24 hours in there. Or I think if you could spend, it's 24 hours. If you could spend a full day in there, they'll give you $1 million. The longest anyone's lasted is 45 minutes. They said it's so quiet that you could hear your muscles and your contracting. You could hear your lungs. You could hear every single sound, and it just freaks people out to the point they got to get the hell out of there. They've soundproofed it to the point where even when you make noise, you don't hear it. They said, like, you can't hear there's no reverberation off any walls. Imagine being in the vacuum of space and you hit a hammer against something. There's just nothing. It's dead. And so when you look back at the footage of the moon, you see them hitting stakes and you hear it. Like you can't hear it in space. So there's a lot of there's no atmosphere there. So it's like the whole thing is very odd to me. The other thing they said is like meteorites, we have our atmosphere that burns up meteorites on a daily basis. They said like 50,000 meteorites on a daily basis, little mini ones. But there's nothing to stop that on the moon, so they would just be getting pelted by these things while they were there. But none of that was happening. So it's just a lot of weird things you have to ask yourself, guys. Like, I guess we had to beat Russia. We had to get there first, or at least say we got there first. If you ever saw, there is no space, MODOK says. I don't know. I'm not sure what's what. I think that there's water up there. And I think that we're encapsulated. This definitely in some weird thing where we're just like it's like very similar to the Truman Show, I think, here. Like there's definitely, I mean, think about this, guys. Wow. Think about this for a second. We advance our technology very quickly here. What's to say that we aren't part of a creation and we're placed here? And within our eyes, what we see, everything we see, is a camera. It's a lens. And someplace, somewhere else, this is all their content, guys. And there's 7 billion channels you could tune into. It's very similar to what we have here on Earth. Everybody's got a channel now. Everybody's got a show. But it's different there because they can't create. They don't have the ability to create. That's what they use us for. And so our eyes broadcast unknowingly to a distant location, to a distant planet, to some other civilization that is starved for entertainment. And what's to say that we're not just beaming out some sort of signal and we just haven't figured that out yet? We just haven't figured out how to tie into that frequency the way that they do. But from birth, they have our frequency and we're a channel. And our whole lives, they've been people watching us, watching every single thing we look at, everything we say, maybe even hearing our thoughts. There's no telling what's what and what's possible. And in 1,000 years or 2,000 years, what will be possible. And if there's at some point a chip or some way that your eye will just broadcast what you see, very similar to the camera that's shooting me right now. So I would say that's probably a lot closer to the real truth. That we are all some part of some sort of either an experiment or we are just a part of somebody's entertainment. And that's why when people say, hey, we're a simulation, it may not be that far off. Because we're here, we're put here in this terrarium. And while we're here, they just watch everything we see and everything we do. And perhaps when they see the evil that starts to take place, they say, well, we got to intercede here. We can't let this thing fall apart yet. This science project's not done yet. I did have a funny movie idea, but it actually would have been a really cool movie idea that it's like you see like these 5 scientists and we're just projects. There's like 12 different Earths and they walk into a room and there's these, big, huge circular terrarium type of vibes. It's basically, you'd see like a firmament and inside there's an Earth. And they're standing over at the 5 of them, and all of a sudden they could just push a button and it zooms in to different locations inside this experiment, which is really Earth. And they got 12 different ones. And they're walking around seeing which one's doing better. And it's like all an experiment. If these people are going to self-destruct, are we going to get somewhere? Are any of them going to come together? They're questioning it. They've got the freaking clipboards as they walk around. I just thought that would be a pretty interesting movie. I never obviously got that done. The other part that was kind of along the same lines is like a space movie, very similar. It's like you see this outer space Star Wars type of fight, and this planet's going to be destroyed. And so before they know that they're being taken out by their enemy, they took as many men or many women and children as they could to this planet that they know can harbor life. That's kind of just, it's far enough away that they'll be safe, but it's not far enough away that they can't get there. So they take off with one of the ships, and I figured I'd be playing one of these characters. And so I go to back with the men and women and the children to bring them to this place. And as we leave, we see in the rear view, so to speak, like all the windows, the planet just explodes. And we're like, well, we can't go back. That's it, And so we go, and then there's this fight getting away from them. Finally get away, and we go to this planet, and I drop off all the people. We drop off all the people. Maybe the plane is out of gas or the ship's out of fuel or whatever. And we finally get there, crash landing, whatever. And so the cool thing is this whole movie that we've been watching for an hour and a half is like this space movie, and we're see these photon beams and all this crazy stuff. And then you land on this planet. Everybody gets out and they go into this cave, and they're just kind of just taking the night and relaxing, trying to get used to the new terrain. All of a sudden they fall asleep after some passionate speech, how they made it, and we'll miss our families, blah blah blah. And so the next morning they wake up, and they're like, well, what do we do now? Like, well, we have to make our own here. We have to figure out how to start from scratch. We have to start over, and we have to procreate, and we have to build a new civilization here. And as they turn to go and like walk out and see what's there, you see this huge dinosaur foot land in front of the cave. And right there you realize that it wasn't way in the future. It was millions of years ago in the past. But we're just in a weird position in time where we think that we're like ahead and we're really not, And I thought that would be pretty cool. So like we really like went from super advanced back to nothing when the dinosaurs were around, and then started all over here. And I was like, that would have been the coolest movie in the world. But of course, same thing. Maybe I'll film that one. I could do that with my green screen. I'll just make it up. Oh gosh, should it be a comedy? I feel like that shouldn't be a comedy. That's like that's a real deal movie, where you've got like a ship full of people. I mean, I wonder if I could do. I definitely can do this. I mean, it would be definitely one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. But if I filmed this with multiple characters, so Cage 73K, so good to see you. If I shoot this with multiple characters, so I shoot the first person, and I just have to make sure I have the timing right in order to do something like this. Because I need like at least 5 people per scene. If you guys haven't seen how these things work, I can show you quickly, but I make these comedies, and when sometimes with my green screen, I can just put one character in, and then I'll start playing more characters, and like all of a sudden it's 3 of me on the screen. My first movie I did that as Batmark versus Supermark. I'm on the screen as Batmark, Supermark, and I think my phone's about to die. It just died on TikTok. Batmark, Supermark, and Dick Face. So, Cage 73, I'm glad you're here, buddy. We're going to get into some other stuff here. This is, I wanted you guys to see this news story, but we got through it. James Webb, there's nothing really to see there. I did have some other news stories for you, but I'd rather just get into the show. Let's see what I did here. I moved that by accident. I want to play you something real quick so you have an idea of what I was just talking about. It will make more sense to you. So, Batmark for Supermark. Yeah, thank you, some random. I think that's one of my best films. That was definitely so much fun to make. Maybe I'll play you a scene of that for tonight. Back to the Future Mark was a lot of fun, too. Let's see. Like, let me see if you guys ever saw... Just quickly...
Lowe's Theaters welcomes you to the exciting world of the movies. Thanks for helping us keep the theater clean.
That was one of the Three's Company's one of my favorite movies too.
Trash receptacles in the lobby.
That's just breaking people up.
Please be considerate and don't talk during the show.
I'm a freaking mental case. Look at this. Worst coach ever was awesome. Joanne! Joanne, are you ready? The movie's about to...
Out my canvas and brushes. What do you want me to do?
Oh, this is one of the funniest scenes. I gotta just play this for you real quick.
Marcus, great job getting everybody over here and splitting the freaking Red Sea. Good job on that one. I think we're gonna have Moses take over now. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Right? I did the work. I'm here. I'm Marxist. Look, the Red Sea. It's parted. Like right now. Marxist, good job. Why don't you step to the side? Moses is here. Freaking Moses? You mean the one that was left in the river? And he showed up on the freaking, like, countryside, the queen found him? Moses? I get it. Royalty. This is so like history. History, typically, you know? Oh, let's let the royal just pretend he did the work. Right? I did the work. So what do they have for me? Back to 2769 for a new assignment?
Yep.
God almighty. After doing all the work, again.
We got another one
now,
for
guys,
you.
look, I hope you miss Marxist. Again, you're going to have some fraud show up here. Hackaroo shows up and pretends he's got a connection to God. Pretends that he knows the scriptures. I knew the scriptures. I did the 10 Commandments. Right? And you guys are all better for it. So at least wish me well. I gotta go back to the portal. 2769. It's calling. It's waiting for future Mark. Marxist. I'm gonna miss the name Marxist. Guys, 40 years. Yeah. You're doing it for 40 years in the desert. As one name, and then you have to go back to the future and, you know, take on a new character, take on a new persona, and do something amazing, you know, so that history looks back and says, we have that, thanks to Future Mark. Anyway, guys, I guess all I could say is, God bless. Red Sea, you can close it now. Wait, Joanne! I got pushed back through that time! You know, they really didn't want me to stay and do it as Marxist. You know, parted the Red Sea, and then they're just like, go ahead, bud. Whatever. Yeah, Joanne, can you get me a Fresca? Wait. Joanne, I'm back. What do we have? Anything new today? No, this, I don't even want to get into this last one. I was there, like freaking Stone Ages, climbing mountains. I had to do, you ever heard of the 10 Commandments? Of course you know about the 10 Commandments, Joanne. that's like record here, historical record. The 10 Commandments. Mark says, I did it. I was there with rocks. Yeah, God. He's like, you know what? Why don't you, instead of taking it, because I just like engraved it on stones onto tablets for you, to then just journey your way down in order to teach my message. Give the words of God to the people. I got down on the bottom, Joanne. They had a freaking golden calf. Yeah, no, and they weren't listening at first. They're like, we like our golden calf. I'm like, you don't go golden calf when you got the 10 Commandments deal. No, and you don't even know the worst of it. They made me do it twice. And when I mean they, because God is the Holy Spirit. And all of a sudden the burning bush is telling you, it's just not good enough. You know, you can't just mend it. You can't mend a broken tablet of the 10 Commandments. You're going to have to redo it from scratch. So I did it. You know, that's why I'm jacked right now, coming back from the past to the future. So, Joanne, what do we got? Oh, let me see. I'm looking for something juicy, something salacious. Joanne, are you kidding me on this one? Leonardo da Vinci? I was Leonardo? That was me. God almighty. I'm there, right? And I'm doing like the perfect jawline on Mona Lisa, you know? No, Mona Lisa's Smile is a crap movie. This is a painting. Joanne, you don't know about the Mona Lisa? Look it up. It's in your historical documents. The Mona Lisa, it was the most beautiful painting of the 15th century, 16th century. And forever, really. Everybody was like, didn't it change? Yeah, after the Mark Della effect, it did change. The original was much more, I guess you'd say like, you know, like she looked like she was in a bad mood. And then they made her sort of look like she was tooting and smiling at the same time. Kind of like you, Joanne. What's that? No, Joanne, we know you have a wheeze. You have birth. Defect. I'm gonna get going, Joanne. I will, I guess I'll be back after. What? No, your wheeze is obnoxious. Joanne, what's this guy's? Oh, this is the Leonardo one? I go back. Yes. I can't wait. I've been wanting to murder people for a while. I haven't, you know, you can't murder people in 2769. I'm sorry? Yeah, okay. I got your back. It just flickered again. Anyway, on to do some murdering.
Back to the future.
Ah, Joanne! No! Joanne, where is my canvas for the new painting? And I need my brushes. I can't do what Leonardo does best without my canvas and brushes. What do you want me to do? You want me to paint the walls again? I already did that. You know, I got with the Venetian plaster as well. You know, that when you're Leonardo da Vinci, you've got to come up with it, you know? So anyway, I am looking for my brush, Joanne, because I have to touch up this before they arrive, you know. This was a contract piece. Oh, can you do my wife for me? Sure, what's her freaking name? What? Mona what? All right. You know, she's a little on the larger side. It's going to require a little extra rouge. You do realize when I say requires extra rouge that I have to murder someone for rouge, right? You know, people don't understand. Leonardo da Vinci. I do the best paintings in the world because I'm also a serial killer. You know, when you're out there doing it, in order to get enough rouge to paint freaking Mona over there, you know. Look, that's part of the gig, you know. You're there, you're living the life of luxury because your, paintings are bringing big dollars, you know. You're also designing other things, helicopters, you know. Anyway, when Leonardo did it, and everybody was just thrilled and said, can you do it again? I was like, all right, I'll do it, And I stopped over at the art supply store, and I said, do you have any rouge? They said, you're kidding, right, Leonardo? You're a professional painter. You know you can't get rouge. 1547. You're gonna have to murder someone. So I did it. And look, right? But I'm gonna need a touch-up. So when's that family of 4 coming in? You know, because we need to mix up some rouge. Anyway, Joanne, what else do we have on the calendar for the rest of the month? You know, Leah Marco's, you got to keep busy, because if I don't, you know, keep busy with a brush in my hand, that's right, I grab a freaking knife and I murder people because I need rouge. You know, look, sometimes you get like an extra jar and fill it with blood so you could do the rouge when you get a next contract call. You know, you're here, you're doing it. You got Mona Lisa up on the freaking wall. You know, she's sitting there on the easel, just looking. You know. She's looking good. Yeah, like if you were there and you're walking the streets of Italy and you freaking saw Mona, right? You'd be like, hey, Mona, can you feed me some freaking grapes? You know? You know, she probably makes a good wine, I would imagine. What's the backstory, Joanne? Do we know the backstory on his wife, Mona Lisa? Because I really I like to get the backstory when I'm finishing up a painting for a client, you know, because you want to be able to at least explore the entire detail within the painting, so then you could tell the story to your grandchildren one day, you know. What's that? No, I won't tell that story. It's freaking crap, right? You start feeding freaking grapes. I don't need a Mona Lisa feeding me grapes, you know? I'm just here, just waiting for another family to come through. Murder time? Look, when you're on a murder spree, Leonardo da Vinci style, and they can't catch you because they're like, oh, Leah Marco, you're so great. We love that painting. I'm like, if you knew how many freaking people I murdered to make that, you know? And they're just like, more, keep doing it. I'm getting close to Genghis Khan, you know, catching up. When you're out there and you're doing it, you become a master with a knife, you know, and not just to cut up the paints in order to, you know, to mesh and to see if I could create new colors, just to get the rouge, you know. Some people call me the Butcher of Verona, you know. I took the title, I took it, and it was because I don't like to give up the credit, and that is why I had the biggest problem when they came in, you know. And they're like, yeah, you...
I want to move this on. Look at this. We have Mark Jellin.
Just the way it went. And then, of course, you decided not to wash the next day. You were like, you were the bunk mate of the guy. You were actually the one who told me about it. Yeah, this guy was yelling out, telling me that I smell like freaking garbage and crap. You didn't take that as a hint? Pedro, you know, maybe I should just wash my freaking underarms. By Menon. No, I bought that in the 23rd century. You guys don't know about by Menon. Speed stick. When you're wearing it, yeah, you smell great, and you also have a freaking really pithy company name and tagline. Goodness. Guys, this has been a pleasure, I gotta say, you know, leading you into the future. Well, you know, for you guys, this is the future. I've seen it all already. Historical documents, you know. But I came in order to give you something to have. That's right, as historical documents. Like, you didn't have them, and then Mark Jellin comes. Freaking drink some lemon juice. And then you're good. You guys got the history. Circumnavigation. How the freak did he do it? He was plastered drunk. He just went like this the whole time. And and he made it around the freaking globe. Everybody thought it was like, oh, you gotta go this way. No, you gotta get freaking trashed and turn that wheel as fast as you can. Circumnavigation. Excuse me, guys, it's Mark Jellin. Give me a moment here. I want you all to drop your freaking tasks for a second, and let's get down to brass tacks. I need some more freaking lemon juice. What are we gonna do about it? You know? I'm here. I gotta get ready to steer. I gotta get ready to steer into the freaking sun. Like, you guys want to get across the freaking streets, right?
The streets of Mark Jellin.
Listen, this just reminds me of that. That straight that we have to get across. I'm freaking calling it Mark Jelly. Do without my brush now. You know, I'm here. I got the rest of the Sistine. No brush. Lucky brush. We can do this together. We'll teleport back to 2769. And I'm telling him next time, I'm not having this. I'm doing something simpler. I'm not going back to something like this. I'll go on the scaffold for 4 years and 7 months, 3 days and 6 hours, so they can come in and be like, hey, Michelangelo, nice job on the freaking ceiling. You know, it's times like this that I really wonder, do I want to be a time traveler any longer? Future Mark. Anyway, I guess that's it, right? I shouldn't finish up with my last little right over here where I can just that and then then we're done? You don't want me to do that? You want Michelangelo to come over and scribble the last little bit in? Yeah. You're gonna ruin this entire masterpiece if you have Michelangelo come in here and touch it at all with his stupid freaking brush. If you see that guy paint, he's got 2 left feet. Hands. 2 left hands. 2 left hands and feet. You ever seen him walk? Circles.
I can't.
Takes him 7 hours to get everywhere. Yeah? Where are we going, Michelangelo? Oh, we're gonna go this way. Freaking, the guy's dizzy, all the time. Everybody thought he's a drunk. Partially drunk. But he also can't walk. When he walks in the snow, he makes the Olympic, emblem. That's what he's aiming for. And this is a future thing, 1896 of the Olympics. But it's all because of the one actual, I would say, gift to history that came from Michelangelo. The Olympic circles, the 5 of them. Is it still 5? I'm not sure. They may have gone to make sure there's 6, so there's an equal amount. 2023. Oh, you don't know about that. That's right. We're here. 15 something. Guess this is my life, right? You go do the work. You don't get any of the credit. We take it and give it to the other guy. Friggin' hacks. A bunch of hacks.
Who else was Mark?
You got the 5th. Steam Chapel. Go in! These are very pertinent questions because I'm about to go through a portal. Joanne, what's going on with the freaking flicker? I thought you worked that out. You said that you had it worked out. You have my back. And I come back, now I'm here doing it, and you got a flicker going still. All right, I'm going to try to time this, Joanne, and see if I can get through before we get another flickeroo. All right? You want to count it down? I can't hear it over your wheeze. I'm just going to go. All right, ready?
It's Back to the Future, Mark.
Whoa! Whoa! Joanne! Oh, no, thank you. No, I appreciate that. That's a new piece I just finished. It's called The 5th. And everybody's into it. They all want to get, the reprise. Can you do, an encore? Every time I finish up The 5th, it's like, can you do an encore? But I don't feel like doing an encore. I want to play something new. I'm just going to for a second, I got to talk to you guys. This is getting out of control, I keep coming in and doing the work. I'm thinking about this. I'm telling them about The 5th. They're talking about The 5th. They're loving The 5th. And you know what's coming next, right? Friggin' Magoo's gonna come in the room and say, Mark's art, great job on The 5th. and all the other odes, and you know, like symphonies and everything else you did, you know. But we're gonna need to give it to Mozart. He's having a bad year, you know. He could really use the win. I'm sorry. Look, I'm here as the greatest of this era. You know, yeah, I'm also Mark Tovin, whatever. But here, when I'm doing Mark's art, and I'm in the process of getting appreciated for the fifth, you know, Moonlight Sonata, when you're doing, and everybody's into it, you know, and then they want to just take it away. They're like, you know what, we're going to white out the name Mark's art and just put Mozart over it. Hold on a minute. So I'm here. I do the work. Fifth. I'll go through the whole freaking thing. Yeah, but I'm here. I do it. And then all of a sudden they come along and take it away, give it to Mozart. This is par for the course, though, you know. Future Mark. Come back in time. I mean, what do you expect? Do you expect to live out the entire life? You think that's the gig. The gig, 2769, you go into a room, they give you a folder, you look at it, it says, hey, you're going back to this date, this is your guy who you are, this is your task. You gotta go and write the fifth.
Who else was I? Hold on.
That a lot. They get replaced at the end.
Come on. How do we get a little bit closer in here?
President of the United States, we have plans for you. I said, plans for me? They had no idea. I'm freaking Future Mark. Of course you have plans for me. They sent me here to do this. They sent me here to proclamate. Marklamate. And when you're doing it, and you're going to lead America into a future that they didn't know existed, when you're doing it with the Emancipation Proclamation, and you do the speech, 4-score, yeah, that I'm working on still. And when I do the 4-score speech, yeah, they're gonna all gather around. Hey, Abramark, what a freaking heck of a speech! Nice job on the Marklamation of 1863, right? You know, Abraham Mark Lincoln. I go down in history, you know. Top hat. You guys, how you feeling? You guys ready for the next battle? You have to be ready. Stonewall Jackson's out there today. And if you're not ready for old Stonewall, you know, like I was here. I'm ready for Stonewall. What the frick am I talking about? Right, Jimmy? Gosh almighty. Jimmy, you do a good job, like, holding your pose. I gotta tell you, you're killing it. I'm out of my mind, I can't.
Sometimes I lose it in my movies.
Stonewall Jackson. Freaking Stonewall Jackson him. You know? Here, we're Stonewall. Goodness, you know. Good old Stonewall. I can't. What the freak? Joanne! Where's Joanne when you need her? Yeah, because I got Stonewall Jackson situation going on right now. I don't even know what to do with it. You know? Oh my goodness. Good old Stonewall. Some people say you got Stonewall down in friggin' Jackson, Mississippi. That happened too. When you were Abramarking it, you know, down on our way to Mississippi. Stonewalled. You know, when General Custer called, and he said, let's see if we could come to an agreement and see if we can call the 53rd parallel or whatever the freak. I said, look, Abramark's not playing those games, you know. You send Stonewall over, we're having a conversation. Stonewall he threw a heck of a curveball too. He was on the Southern Leagues, you know, Abramark. I knocked one out of the friggin' park against him, you know. Like, oh, that was he thought he had me, you know, like 3-2 count. And he's like, Abramark's not going to hit this. I'm going to hit him with the high cheese. He threw the high cheese at me. Bang, biggity boo. I hit a home run. Top hat fell off. But I hit a home run, you know.
The top hat fell
Johnny,
off.
you were there for that one, right? Johnny, what the you're going to leave me out in lurch here? Yeah. Never tell a lie. Hey, cherry tree. I know that was George Washington, but I did it too, you know? When you're Abraham Lincoln and you did the cherry tree as well. You know, that's the story, guys. You have to remember that one. Regurgitate it later when you're talking about the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863. It's a big time in history. You guys don't realize it yet. You know, you're here and you're like, we're fighting for our homeland. We're fighting for some rice and some beans. Where are you from? Freaking New Mexico? We're here in the north. You know? And I'm sorry, guys. Abraham Lincoln doing it, 16th president. I forgot my top hat today. You know? But we're here. We're doing our best anyway, trying to rile you up for good old Stonewall Jackson. He's out on the field today, guys. I saw him over the clearing, and he's looking like he's ready for a fight. How about you, Johnny? Are you ready for the freaking fight? You look like you're about to poop in your pants. God almighty. Why do we have guys who look like they want to poop their pants instead of going into war and battle for old Abraham? You know? I'm sorry? What?
We're gonna have to give this one to Abraham.
I'm the president of the United States, okay? You don't walk up to the president of the United States and say, Abraham, you did a really great job on that Marklamation, stopping slavery. Good job, Abraham.
That's my favorite moment in the movie.
That beginning always goes to a place I don't want it to go.
Just that kick is my favorite part of the movie.
In the past, but your future, Mark, go back to freaking 27.
Can I find that again? I don't think so. I'm just going to cut out here. But that is my favorite part of the movie right there, when I do that kick. I don't know what's so funny about it. But
why did I freaking pen the Emancipation Proclamation? Yeah. Why did I come out here in this freaking heat today? And do the speech of all speeches. I feel bamboozled again, you know. I did this again with Michelangelo, freaking Leo Marco. Remember the time when I was freaking Wolfgang on?
All right. Oh, oops. All right, I have something else to play here because Barella mentioned it. And I know I'm making Helen laugh a little too hard, but you know what? That's the point of these crazy, crazy bits. So if you're watching and you're wondering, like, how could you think of all this stuff? This is literally where the moment takes me. We talked about this in a piece of content earlier today. If you didn't see it, you should go watch it. How we all share one moment from the day we're born to the day we die. We don't get different moments. We're together in this single moment here, and we can't look back in the past at stains in the past and say, oh, well, let's judge all the people that are in this moment with me for things that were done in the past. It doesn't even make any logic. What we have to understand is that we are centered on a second. This is our second, and we could choose to move forward together, or we could choose to live like our ancestors did, which is to point out the things that don't matter. We share a moment that we can make beautiful, or we can make it disastrous. It's up to us. This is the 5D that we're talking about. It's just getting together in the moment. Because when we're together in this moment, we actually have the opportunity to do something. And when we're distracted the way they want us distracted, we create these stains right here in the present that will only come back to haunt our future generations. So I hope that makes sense to you. I'm going to play this for you because this is just another way for you to get away from all of it. That's what I do here. My gift from God is to create these insane comedies, to create these magnificent songs that take you away from the fake world that you're living. And everything you see here is, even though it's so out there, this is somebody who just doesn't give a fuck. Is going to come out here and do everything that the moment tells him to do. And within that, some really crazy things have happened. And this is, I started a movie I haven't finished yet. I got to about an hour and 2 minutes. And then I had this whole thing together, and then it got all broken up. For some reason, I erased a piece of my phone, and that's where I edit everything. So then it had this blank space, and I was like, I don't even know where that video is. So I got to go back and cut all of the content back together. I've got about an hour and 2 minutes of this. But this is the first 18 minutes. And if you just see how my mind progresses through one idea, this is how it starts. Who remembers this song? This is what every one of my movies starts with this. Miyagi! I almost had it. Guys, Joanne, can we get a chopstick situation? There's a friggin' Fly Lee in here. You know? We may have to have another episode of Bruce Lee. He's my student. He's my student. You know, I taught him everything he knows. You know? Back in the day, back in the future, Mark, you know, when I was doing it, when he was just a little boy, I was his sensei there in, you know, mainland China. I didn't do a racist thing. I just was there, white-faced, you know. They're like, look at Round Eye. Yep, that's me. I was Round Eye. I went out there doing it. Round Eye McGee. I went, aye. I said, listen, I got a little something for you, Bruce Lee. It's called the 1-inch punch. I did it with my finger, though. I didn't do my fist. I did a finger. They still talk about me. Round Eye. I think that's, you know, a compliment. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Guys, sometimes I'm not really sure. Like, I don't speak the language, you know? So I was like, Round Eye, yeah, I'll do it. You know, that must be a good thing. Yeah. Everybody was saying it, so I was like, yay, Round Eye. I'm doing it. They put me on their shoulders going, Round Eye, Round Eye. I'm like, this is how comedy develops. I did it, Round Eye. You know? Give me a statue. You know? Greatest sensei ever. Round Eye. If you go to the Takahashi Hall of Fame, you know, for Bruce Lee's memorabilia.
Not a thing.
Sensei, you know, I was there. Round Eye. Everybody wanted to gather around and take a photo next to the statue of Round Eye. He's just maybe a legend at this point. You know? They're like, there's no way there was such a guy named Round Eye. The sensei. Doing it for Bruce Lee. 1-inch punch. No, I'm sorry. Round Eye McGee. What's that, Joanne? No, Joanne, your wheeze is obnoxious. You know, when you get the call, we got this kid. We want you. He's gonna protege you. You know, what? Tell me about him. The kid's quick, very quick. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you if he's quick or not. Where are you gonna be? Down at the Corner Street Gym. Show up at the Corner Street Gym. You're going to see this little kid. What's his name? I want to hear his name now before I bother going. His name's Bruce Lee. Sounds like a stupid name. I'll come down and check him out, though. Round Eye, out. You know, I showed up at the gym. Round Eye, Round Eye. I came in. You know, I'm doing high fives with everybody. Round Eye. That was the best, you know? Sensei Round Eye, you know, McGee. We won that year. This is so crazy. Yeah. Statue. Takahashi. You got to go and check out the Takahashi Hall of Fame if you want to see the Round Eye statue.
Not a thing.
You go take a picture with it. Send it to the Renaissance Man show. I will put it up. I'll making a deal with you. You go to the Takahashi Hall of Fame. You go take a picture in front of the freaking Round Eye Museum statue like this. And you got a picture like that. You send it in. I'll make it my cover photo for 2 months. Takahashi. Yeah, Round Eye. Look at, he's there. And remember the pose that I had is Round Eye. Whoa, like that. That was it, because I gave he was ready for the 1-inch punch. I was like, whoa, like that. And that's where you have to go with it when you're at the Takahashi. And you can get in front of it. So most people get in front of the hands, you know what I mean? And one person, somebody's like doing a high five with me. It was kind of funny, you know. Round Eye. I do a heck of a high five as Round Eye. When I was being, again, chanted in, they're chanting me in as Round Eye to go and check out Bruce Lee. I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do it, but like, you don't have to chant.
Here's
that.
my favorite line.
Just be like, hey, Round Eye, what's up? Why don't you take a seat? Bruce Lee's here. Who's freaking Bruce Lee? 4-year-old kid, lightning fast. Check him out. All right, where do you want me to sit? Right there? No, I'm sorry. I'm round eye. I can't sit there. It's just not appropriate for round eye. I mean, I got to be like right there in front of Bruce Lee if you want really to get my opinion on his talent. Oh, yeah, no, that's better. I'll go over there. What's that, Joe? No, Joanne, you're wheeze. Keep it down. We're watching a guy named Bruce Lee. Bro, Joanne's even there with round eye. She was a junior assistant at that time. Her wheeze was a little lighter, and she didn't have the humongocarditis going on, so she was able to move around through doors. Now, no good. She can't go through a doorway anymore. Anyway, guys, there's nobody better than Sensei Round Eye. Like, they still, Hall of Fame style. Remember, make sure you're looking them up, Takagachi Uchi, and do it. When you take the picture, send it in. It's going to be the banner of the At the Brink show. You know what I mean? Come back from the brink. You come back from the brink when you see the Takagachi Hall of Fame, the photos. Everybody's dead. You have to fight when you get there because there's like such a line. They're charging now. Yeah. At first they were doing it free, and now they're charging. Round eye. When you're there and you're round eye and you show up and you're like, guys, I was Back to the Future, Mark. You don't realize this? I went back in time. I showed up. I was Sensei Round Eye. When I got in there, they were chanting me in. I was like, I don't want this life to end. Went to 2769. They're like, brief us. Met some stupid little kid. 4-year-old. They call him Bruce Lee. You ever heard of him? They're like, yeah, he's the greatest of all time. Like, are you freaking kidding me? I was making fun of him the whole time. You guys didn't tell me I was going to see Bruce Lee. Like, he's good? What are we talking about over here? I neck chopped that little kid. You know? He thought he was quick. I had to just give him a lesson from Round Eye. You know? He wanted to be trained. I'm sorry, sir. You can get mad at me for neck chopping Bruce Lee like I didn't know who the frig he was. You guys didn't tell me before. You got to brief me before you send me back in time to be Sensei Round Eye. That's the problem when you're dealing, with a future situation. Sometimes they want you to be surprised, Well, then that's on them, I neck chopped Bruce Lee. So, did it. Happened. I also taught him the 1-inch punch. Don't forget that. Sensei Round Eye by Menon. Don't forget your freaking speed stick. Right? If you don't go with the speed stick out there running around, antiperspirant. Guys, wow. When we're doing a live improv like that was pretty crazy. This is what I miss when we do that craziness. Let my mind just continue to keep going down the rabbit hole. I think it's funny. I was talking to someone the other day, like, it's so silly. This, it was actually my dad. I was talking to my dad, and he's like, it's it's funny, but like it's really silly stuff. I said, that's the whole freaking point. Stand-up comedy is continuing the bit. It's taking one thing and taking something like, oh, I'm there with Bruce Lee, and turning it into, they called me Round Eye. And all of a freaking sudden we have a 20-minute bit about freaking Sensei Round Eye. And that's nuts. And it can't be considered racist because I'm white and I'm calling myself Round Eye because I am freaking Round Eye. I have round eyes. What are you talking about over here? Oh, goodness. But it's just silly stuff. It's so silly. And that's the whole point. A couple minutes to break away from the world, laugh a little bit and get into some real old school SNL type stuff, Like that's the way I see the comedy that I do. I don't know if it's anything that's appreciated, because I kind of see it as like almost like an Andy Kaufman type of thing. Like I'm doing whatever the frig I want, man. Don't tell me what's funny. I never took classes. I never went to comedy school. I've never been on stage before to do stand-up. This is what I do. I don't know. I'm going to go start doing stand-up, I think. I think I got to go up and do an open mic. Do some impressions or something. I don't know. I don't have a script ever. I'm just going to go up there and maybe do what I just did. I don't know. Sensei Round Eye. Excuse me, sir. You want to join the class? We have an opening, Most people are trying to pay big dollars to be a part of Sensei Round Eye's clinic, where I teach you the 1-2 Magoo and neck chop style. Bruce Lee, 1-inch punch. round eye. You know, but if you don't want to do that, sir, you want to sit there and drink your Jack and Coke, that's on you, you know? Like, I don't know if that's funny or not, but that's what I'd probably do if I was there and, and I saw someone sitting there in the front drinking a Jack and Coke. How's everybody doing out there? Thank you so much for sitting around and watching a little of my comedic mind work. I don't know if there's any other stream of consciousness shows like that where someone's letting their mind go nuts. And lots of facial expressions on this show. If you haven't figured that out yet, I've always been a facial expression guy. You know, I like to make funny faces based on silly things that go on in this world. And that was a lot of fun. It really was. Round eye. I don't know if that's offensive or not. Is that offensive, guys? It's like, I have this thing, like, I feel like pushing the envelope a little bit is what makes it funny. I don't swear on this show. So like to do something like that and poke fun at stereotypes, like why can't I poke fun at stereotypes? I don't get it. Guys, it's been a solid show, I do have to say. And I feel like when we get together and we have a moment of positivity, we write a song, we do a piece of comedy. It's kind of the perfect show, isn't it? I've often said that to me, the perfect movie is one that has every emotion. This show, I've laughed. I've laughed very hard during this show, just talking about certain things. And even not laughing, I'm laughing inside at some of the stuff I was saying and doing during that bit. And to me, that's the thing I can't express because I'm trying to keep character. But when I'm saying certain things there, I am laughing in my mind so hard, and I can't wait to watch that back because I'm visualizing what I think it looks like when I say it. But when I actually watch it back and see some of this thing, some of the things what I'm doing, I'm looking up, I'm like, round eye. You know, like that is the craziest thing in the world. And for me to watch that back, I am going to cry with laughter when I see that. But this episode, I also freaking cried in the middle of the song. So I felt the ultimate of emotions tonight, all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom, in between, all around. And that is a perfect show. That is what we need to strive for when we do this one show a week here. And I hope you guys are excited about what we've been doing here with this 10 minutes a day. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's going to be a little different from time to time. I was thinking about it. At the Brink may just be me showing up and playing a song real quick for 10 minutes. It may be me showing up and doing what I just did about Round Eye for 10 minutes. It's going to be a 10-minute message, a 10-minute piece of fire in some manner. And I hope you guys will come back and check it out. And we can't do longer than that because YouTube hates it. YouTube hates it. I want to ask you guys if you'll do me a favor. I truly believe sometimes the very best thing that you can see when you do tune into me is the last thing I say. And based on the analytics, you know, they tell you the average. The average that people watch the 10-minute show is like 5 minutes, and that's on a good day. If you could do me a favor, I want to try to test the algorithm. I want to see if we can beat the algorithm, see if it's even possible. If you could please watch those episodes from beginning all the way to the end. Leave a comment, like it, and share it with yourself if you have to. Whatever. Share it, though, if you can. And let's see if anything happens. Because Mr. Beast said that's what YouTube cares about. They only care about watch time. They care about push through. So when you see anything that pops up, oh, Mark put something out, please click on it. Please watch it. My shorts are 30 seconds long. Because all I'm trying to do, especially now is at the Brink, is trying to just inspire people to find the greatness in themselves. Like, there is nothing stopping you from finding greatness except for your fear. And sometimes it's fear of success. Some people are actually comfortable in the life that they're living, even if they don't necessarily want it, they sort of do. You have to have the courage to fail, because failure is going to give you perspective and perhaps more of a redirection if you're willing to keep going. Don't quit. Look at me. I almost quit on day 1,378 in a row, just 7 days ago. And instead, I redirect at the brink. If at the brink gets this family, watching from beginning to end when they're 6 minutes long, the one I dropped yesterday was 7 minutes on the dot. If you guys can't go watch that full 7 minutes, the last 35 seconds is fire. And again, that's the crazy thing. It's like, you got to get to this like crazy, it builds just like the comedy. When I'm speaking to you, inspiration is flying out. But the last minute when I'm like, oh, I got to say goodnight now, is when something ridiculous comes out. And that's why it's like, get through the 6 minutes for that 7th minute when I realize I have to say goodbye to you guys. And when that happens, something real comes out again. And usually that's the best message. And usually that's that one that I dropped a little, 30 seconds short or whatever. It's like, wow, that was that last 30 seconds of the show. So, tomorrow, fam and friends, when we do it all over again, it will be for 10 minutes. It will be for a moment in time. And I hope you'll come and join with me. This is all developing in the moment, and like I said, you have to be willing to redirect. You have to be willing to say, no, I won't quit. And this isn't failure. This is just redirection. I happen to create a show that's 20 years too late. 20 years ago, people had the ability and almost the interest to want to go someplace for an hour, to spend a full hour, 2 hours there every day. Wow, that's every day? Yeah, I'll go. What's tomorrow? Music and some comedy? What was the next day? Some inspiration tonight. We don't know. It's usually whatever the freak happens in the moment. But the point is, I'm excited about that. I don't know. When I don't know what's coming. Like, that's the best part. So I'm going to keep showing up and trying to keep it short for you guys. But for now, we had a really awesome night. Guys, I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for kicking it here tonight. If you can, head over to YouTube and subscribe over there. That is very much appreciated. That is where we've been live for 1,384 days in a row. We're 16 days away from 1,400 days in a row. And on December 31st, 2022, I will officially have been live for 5 years in a row every single day. It's the longest running show on earth. If you could give me a follow and a share, I'd appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow. Until tomorrow. It's Mark Pires. And it's Renaissance, man. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. You got to go away, yeah. You got to see you tomorrow. You got to go away.
Nobody likes to be told what to do, except when someone says, "Hey, feed her Reese's!"
Oh my goodness, what the friggin' heck is this? Yeah, I can hear myself. All right, this is unreal. I'm still trying to get these kids down, and I thought I had more time, and I thought there was a second piece to that. That was not what I expected. It's like a 10-minute talk after the bit. Let me play you guys something here. All right. Let's see. This is the second part to Round Eye, but I don't think we need to see that. Let's put something else on here. How about this? Just for some laughs. Or perhaps I should play this for you. This is a piece of music. You know what? I'm going to play this for you. I'll be right back. It's Hammerl and Jameson live from the studio, but we're going to take this to Donald Trump for episode 14 of The Donald Trump Show.
Welcome and thank you for joining me on episode 14 of the Donald Trump Show. Tonight we're talking about poison again. That's right. Don't drink the poison. Also, don't eat any food prepared by poison. Everything she touches turns to poison. Anyway, I've got some amazing clips for you today of poison. We're going to see her in action again. She's a terrible human being. Take a look at this one, for example.
Do you think that it is time for Vice President Biden to address this head-on himself?
Now, before we get started, you remember how they treated Trump, right? You remember how they treated Kavanaugh when he was trying to be nominated? They stepped all over the man's life, his dignity, his integrity. But this poison's talking about Sleeps Over Joe like he's walks on water, really. Take a listen.
Well, I have great sympathy for any women who bring forth an allegation. I'm a big, strong supporter of the Me Too movement. I think it's been made a great contribution to our country.
Oh, well, this is great. So we should have a really great endorsement by Nancy Pelosi to support this Tara Reid with her allegations. Let's hear what Pelosi has to say.
And I do support Joe Biden. I'm satisfied with how he has responded. I know him. I was proud to endorse him on Monday.
So let me get this straight. The reporter asks you what you think about Sleeps Over Joe being accused of rape, sexual abuse, and you're satisfied? What? This is not right, Nancy, no.
Very proud to endorse him.
Whoa, look, everybody, it's Proud Pelosi.
And so I'm satisfied with that.
So let me get this straight, Nancy. Because you put your 37 pounds behind Sleeps Over Joe, you now no longer believe anybody who accuses Sleeps Over of wrongdoings because you threw your weight behind Sleeps Over Joe. I just want to make sure that people know what you stand for. Maybe 36 pounds, I don't know.
I mean, he hasn't, to be clear, he hasn't addressed it. His campaign has addressed it, but he has not directly addressed it. Should he directly, publicly address it?
Did you see? She looks like a deer in headlights. Okay, you guys ready for your first spin class with Nancy Pelosi? I hope you brought your mats. Lay them out. Here we go.
You know, it's a matter that he has to deal with, but I am impressed with the people who worked for him at the time saying they absolutely never heard one iota of information about this. Nobody ever brought forth a claim or had anybody else tell them about such a claim.
Oh, that's great, Nancy. Thank goodness that the people that work for Sleeps Over Joe said they've never heard an iota. Any inkling, you say, of anything that Joe Sleeps Over Bumbling Biden ever did wrong.
But again, we have an important election at hand.
And there it is. The true colors come out from Pelosi. They don't care what Biden has done wrong. They just want to beat Trumper that bad. Rape, smelling little girls' hair, stealing speeches, whatever. Oh, fake civil rights guy, too, forgot. they'll say whatever they can to undercut the Trump.
One that is, I think, one of the most important ones that we've had. We say that every election, but I think this one is the most crucial.
So crucial that you'll forget about your support for the Me Too movement. You really are poison, Nancy. You know that, right?
And I supported him because he's a person of great values, integrity, authenticity.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing here right now. She said values, integrity, and authenticity. Are you sure you're speaking about Sleep Sofa Joe?
Imagination.
There you go again, poison. Imagination? You're kidding, right? This is Sleep Sofa Joe. He's been in office for 44 years and done absolutely nothing. He can imagine what it would be like to actually accomplish something, I guess.
And a connection to the American people.
You must be kidding, Nancy, right? Sleep Sofa Joe is currently looking for a connection to reality.
He understands the kitchen table issues of America's working families.
Okay, 1 out of 2. He probably knows what a kitchen table is. I'll give him that much.
He's the personification of hope.
Joe Biden is the personification of dope.
And optimism for our country, and I was proud to endorse him. And America needs a person like Joe Biden with his integrity.
Remember that this entire interview took place because Joe Biden was accused of raping a woman. And she's standing by his integrity.
His integrity and his vision for the future.
I'm very confused by this one. Looking into the future, vision. Sleep Sofa Joe has a hard enough time looking into the next hour. Never mind days, weeks, and years ahead. This is not a condition that gets better. It only gets worse. Look, I want to thank you for tuning in to episode 14 of The Donald Trump Show. Poison Part 2. You know, she's basically the Crypt Keeper, right? I keep wondering if they're going to do Tales from the Crypt 2. I have the perfect typecast character for you. Her name is Nancy Pelosi. We call her Poison. And I'm sure you can find her online under The Devil's Best Friend. I'll see you tomorrow on the next Donald Trump Show.
It's Hammerlin Jameson live from the studio. We're joined by Donald Trump for episode 15 of the Donald Trump Show.
Thank you for joining me. Episode 15, The Donald Trump Show. Today we go back to bumbling Biden. That's right, Sleeps Over Joe. I got a doozy for you tonight. Check this out.
We can't ensure our future is made in America with American good paying union jobs here at home.
Okay, wait a minute. I've been saying America first for like 4 years. And I'm called a racist, a xenophobe, etc. But Sleep Sofa Joe says it. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, look, Sleepy Joe. He's a genius. Wow. Honestly, if he doesn't fall asleep on camera, he's going to beat me. But he's going to fall asleep on camera. Just wait for it, people.
Here at home, making it in America.
Bumbler, here at home would be made in America. I think he may have said that because Sleepy Joe also owns a piece of land in the Ukraine.
These are the most critical investments we can make for the long-term health and vitality of both the American economy and the physical health and safety of the American people.
So, Sleepy, you had 44 years in the Senate, 8 years as the vice president, and now when you're not in office, you're taking my ideas and pretending that they're your ideas?
Even if we weren't facing a pandemic and an economic crisis, we should be making these investments anyway.
Look, Sleep Sofa, you could say what you want, but you sound like a bumbling idiot at this point. You were in there for 8 years. Do you want me to keep saying it? I will.
To power a clean energy revolution in this country, we need to modernize America's infrastructure.
That's right. You wouldn't have been able to modernize our infrastructure in the 80s when you were vice president. You were just vice president 4 years ago, moron.
Despite this overwhelming need, this president and the Republican Congress have simply failed to act.
Okay, so critique coming from a guy who's been hiding in his basement since he left office at 16. He was in his basement pre-coronavirus. You know that, right?
10,000s. Actually, tens of thousands.
How many?
10,000s. Actually, tens of thousands.
Wow, that's a lot, Joe.
There's no other way of saying it.
Well, for Joe Biden, you're right. There's only one way of saying it. The sleep-sofa way.
Donald Trump promised a big infrastructure bill when he ran in 2016.
I have massive plans for this country, but the Democrats have not made it easy.
Seems like every few weeks, when he needs a distraction from the latest charges of corruption in his staff or the conviction of high-ranking members of administration and political apparatus, the White House announces, quote, it's Infrastructure Week.
Sleep-sofa, I have to tell you, I think you should just stop running. Because every time you have a gaffe, or every time you say something super racist, the media starts a race war, or they totally flip it. Oh, he raped someone? Let's talk about how much integrity he has.
But he's never delivered.
Way to go, Joe. Let's find the one or two things I couldn't do in the first 4 years, and let's make a big deal out of it.
He's never really even tried.
I have to say, Sleepy, the Sleep-sofa Joe is hilarious. Partly for the goofy things he says with a straight face, but then look at what he said there. I haven't tried. I don't try. Are you kidding me? I sleep like 3 hours a day. I don't get paid for my job. And I get crapped on all day by you fake news morons. And you say I don't try.
Well, I know how to get it done.
The only thing that Sleep-sofa Joe knows how to get done is putting his head on a pillow and taking a nap. That he can get done every single day, afternoon, night. Look, I've got to go, but I'll see you tomorrow on the next Donald Trump show.
Hammerl and Jameson introducing episode 16 of the Donald Trump Show, The Gates to Evil.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me on episode 16 of the Donald Trump Show. Today we're talking about Dr. Evil. That's right, Bill Gates, Fauci. They're all in it together. And I think you'll be surprised when you see Vladimir Putin in the mix. And even George Soros. So we're going to get into it now. Let's take a look at the first piece.
Dr. Evil, are you there?
Well, hi, Bill Gates. How are you?
Do you have a second to talk?
Yep, I'm here in the evil lair right now. I heard about all your work on the vaccines. Quite promising. Hold on. Put you on speakerphone. So tell me, what's the latest, Bill?
Look, we have to get our vaccines in order if we want to try to stop the spread of the coronavirus. And consequently, I own all of the patents and I have all of the companies that are actually going to provide the vaccines. And Moderna, you may have heard of, that's actually my company. I'm going to be the one who makes all the money at the end. But we have to do it. It's going to kill a lot of people, and it's going to put a lot of more money in my pocket to be the shelf effect, where everybody else dies and I get everything. I'm going to try to take over the world, is really the plan here.
Look, Bill, that's usually what we do here at Evil Headquarters. I'm frickin' Dr. Evil. Anyway, how could I help?
Well, it looks like I've got everybody lined up and ready for the big reveal. They're all afraid. They're at home quarantined, and they're not sure if it's safe to go outdoors. So they're ready for the takedown.
Yeah, I get it. You want to take over the world.
People are starting to understand that I have an ulterior motive, and it's financially based, it's population reduction based, and they don't like it. And I just want to try to find out how to do it successfully like you did.
I don't have time to give you the ins and outs.
Do you have any tips or suggestions that you can give me?
Well, Bill, fear seems low. I would release the murder hornets.
Well, I really appreciate your advice, Dr. Evil. I know you've gone through this before.
I do take over the world at least once a month.
I think it's very important that we do this the right way.
The right way is the only way. If we do it correctly from the beginning, then I'm going to be the leader of the world. Look, Bill, I'm going to be honest with you. What's yours is mine. I'm just going to do it all myself. I already released the murder hornets. Don't open your windows. Frankly, I was shaken by the images. I could not believe it when I had this YouTube video sent to me. These things are going on behind the Trumpers' back. And I don't like it. No. We're going to stop the Dr. Evil. We're going to stop Bill Gates. He's not even a freaking doctor. You know that, right? He's not a doctor. Doesn't even play a doctor on TV. He just pretends. He walks around, puts a stethoscope on, I think, when he's at home. Melinda, look, I've got a stethoscope on. I'm a doctor. No, you're not. You're just a stupid billionaire. Well, look, let's keep going. Let's see what these morons are up to. Number 2, get me Bill Gates.
Dr. Evil. Bill Gates is on the evil monitor.
Bill, it's Dr. Evil. Oh, hi, Dr. Evil. How are you? I'm doing great, Bill. So glad to get you on the line again. I think it's about time we release our secret weapon. Can you get him on the line, number 2?
Dr. Evil. Call on the evil monitor.
Dr. Fauci, it's Dr. Evil.
Hello, Dr. Evil.
Look, Fauci, we need you to continue pushing the narrative. If we want them to take the vaccine, they need to be scared. So we need the public to believe that they're in danger. And the only one who's in control of that right now is Dr. Fauci.
Well, we have to be very careful. Can't let the president know what we're doing.
Look, we need to continue to push fear. If we want them to take the vaccine, we're going to have to pretend that they need it. So I'm going to get onto every network station, and I'm going to continue to push the narrative. I'm thinking about deploying the murder hornets.
We should probably be searching for a murder hornet vaccine as we speak.
This sounds like a great idea, Dr. Fauci. Get on it, and I'll see you guys soon. Just remember, keep me apprised. Wait, no, hold on, I'm not done.
We're going to have to continue to act stealth with this mission.
One more thing. Don't forget our mantra. We all need vaccines. That we all need vaccines. And I will eventually take over the world. See, this is the agenda of the New World Order, run by Bill Gates, President Xi-Hol. They drop a virus, I call it the Fluhan, on the world. They cripple the global economic system. They put everybody in quarantine. They gotta wear a mask. You can't go out without a mask. And everybody's still fine. The death rate's like the frickin' flu. And they say everybody must get a vaccine. Look, I'll tell you what. I'm Donald J. Trump, and I won't be getting a vaccine. You've got an immune system for a reason. You don't need an immunity like a vaccine made by people like Fauci. They just are trying to line their pockets with dollar bills, y'all. So take a look at this last clip. Kinda pisses me off. He called me on pocket dial. You'll see, take a look. Number 2, get me Bill Gates on the evil monitor.
Dr. Evil. Bill Gates is on the evil monitor.
Well, hi, Dr. Evil. How are you? So glad to speak to you. I'm just here talking to the press right now. Is there something I could do for you? Oh, Donald, I'm sorry. This is actually a pocket dial. I'm gonna have to call you back. Okay, Dr. Evil. Number 2! That was too freaking close, number 2.
I'm sorry, Dr. Evil. Bill Gates on the evil monitor.
Hi, Bill. It's Dr. Evil. How are you? Hi, Dr. Evil. How are you? I'm good, Bill. Are we still on track to take over the world? So Dr. Fauci went on the front lines again today and told people they need to do even more extensive social distancing. They need to stay away from each other more. We have to develop the vaccine before too many people die, and then we won't be able to make all of that money. And what does Fauci have to say about it? I'm going to try to get Dr. Fauci on right now. Dr. Fauci, are you there?
Bill, how are you?
It's Bill and Dr. Evil, and he's on the Evil monitor with us.
Dr. Evil.
Gentlemen, the fear-mongering's not working. You're going to have to find a different strategy.
I'm getting very nervous about this, Dr. Evil. I think I may back out of this entire thing if we don't bring the vaccine to market next week. I'm out.
Take a breath real quick, Dr. Fauci, because we're almost there. All right, we put all the money out there. We have the patents, and we have everybody at home right now. So all you have to do is continue the narrative.
The president is starting to become suspicious of Fauci.
Dr. Fauci, we really need you to come through for us here.
Look, the president is smarter than he pretends to be.
Fauci, failure is not an option here.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I will not take a fall for two megalomaniacs.
Okay. I think I've heard enough. Excuse me. Yes, release the murder hornets. Yes, Bill Gates' house and Dr. Fauci's. That's right. Yep, thank you. Okay, yep, fantastic. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I just can't stand you anymore. Look, I have to thank MAGA lover QAnon 1984 for sharing these 3 videos with me. Oh, wait a second, I'm getting in my ear that we have one more for you. Hold on one moment. Let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, the scene is set. Number 2.
Dr. Evil. Vladimir Putin's on the phone.
Dr. Evil, it's Vladimir. We have the news. Well, it's really good to have you on the line, Vladimir. I'm so glad that our plan is working.
Right now is good mission. Is an American run.
Look, all I want you to know, Vladimir, is that we have to put the pressure on. More cities.
They riot in the street. Good.
Now to part 2, our secret weapon. You know who I'm talking about. Let's get him on the line.
Dr. Evil. George Soros is on the line.
George.
Dr. Evil.
What's the deal?
Can I play too?
What you got going on over there? Give us the scoop.
I want to play.
Let me put you on speaker. Yep, here we go. What do you got, George?
I'll put money in as well, and we could take over the solar system.
We have to find a way to stabilize Donald Trump as well.
Bring Trump Walker to me. I will turn him, or I will destroy him.
You know, I have to say, I did not expect to see George Soros turn into Emperor Palpatine. Who knew? Who knew that Emperor Palpatine was really George Soros? Typecast, really. I heard he also played Jabba the Hutt. They didn't really even need to use any makeup. Look, the one thing I'll tell you about Donald J. Trump is I keep my friends close, but I keep my enemies closer. I'm gonna call Dr. Evil right now. That's right. We're gonna have a conversation about all of these videos because I don't like when people come after the Trump. Hold on, people. The phone is ringing. Number 2.
Dr. Evil, there's a call on the Evil monitor. It's Donald Trump.
Thank you, number 2. Hi, Donald. It's Dr. Evil. How are you? Dr. Evil, you're live right now on the Donald Trump show. Oh, really? Okay, hold on one second. Let me put you on speaker. What can I do for you, Donald? You're actually the subject of episode 16 of the Drum Show, and I just found 4 videos, quite incriminating. And before I send them to the high courts, I just wanted to see if you have anything you'd like to say. Well, Donald, simply put, I'm freaking Dr. Evil. Look, Dr. Evil, you know, we've had a pretty good working relationship in the past, but that all comes to an end now. Next time you think you could take advantage of the Trumper, just get ready for a steaming pile of rockets all over your face. I'm gonna drop 'em all over your evil compound, wherever it is.
I wish you lots of luck on your search, Donald.
We're gonna find you, Dr. Evil. I'm going to find you.
Look, Donald, I really don't care how you feel. Sorry.
Perhaps if I tell you about the newest technology we're gonna use to take you out in your compound, would that interest you, Dr. Evil?
No matter what tech you have, Donald, you get... Hello? Donald? Number 2! He hung up again, motherfucker!
It's Harold and Jameson live with episode 17 of the Donald Trump Show.
Thank you for joining me on episode 17 of the Donald Trump Show. Tonight we talk about Facebook and how much it sucks, right? I mean, seriously, Zuckerberg. I gave him every opportunity to do the right thing. But he keeps censoring the conservative point of view. Look, if you're going to censor everybody. Let's take a look at some of these clips and see what's going on out there.
You have previously given testimony to the Congress saying that there is not editorial manipulation that disadvantages conservatives.
So you're telling me that Mark Zuckerberg told Congress that he does not censor conservative content? That is laughable, really, right?
Just like in the case of Google, there have been whistleblowers from Facebook that not only have offered evidence indicating your testimony was not truthful, but there's even video that suggests that content moderators that you employ are out there disadvantaging conservative content.
You ever seen Mark Zuckerberg sweat before? Watch this.
I'm wondering if you are familiar with the experiences of Zach McElroy and Ryan Hartwig, two people who participated in Facebook content review.
Ah, friend of the Real Talk Show, Ryan Hartwig. Look, if you want to hear the real scoop about Zucks, you should check out the 3 times that Ryan was on the Real Talk Show. Anyway, let's see what else is here.
And what is your response to the very damning video evidence and the testimony from them that the culture that you lead within Facebook is one that disadvantages conservatives and leads to content manipulation?
Now that is a question I would like the answer to.
I'm somewhat familiar with the concerns that they've raised. As I've said, we aim to be a platform for all ideas.
Is Zuckerberg out of his freaking mind? What is he talking about? The last thing that you are is a platform for all ideas.
We got into this because we want to give everyone a voice.
Everybody gets a voice. Unless you disagree with Mark Zuckerberg's political leanings, of course.
I certainly do not want our platforms to be run in a way that has any ideological bias.
An ideological bias? Are you serious? You know you Zuck, right? I mean, you 100% are biased against me. You're biased against anybody who loves America.
And I want people to be able to discuss a range of issues.
A range of issues that you choose, right, Zucks?
When people raise concerns like that, we do look into them to make sure that that everyone in our operation is behaving and upholding the standards that we would like.
So basically you're saying that everything's going to plan.
I know that we have ongoing training in what we do.
I think what we're trying to tell you is that your training sucks.
I'm concerned that the content review does reflect the values of the company, but those values don't in fact give everyone a voice. They prejudice against certain content.
Matt Gaetz with the left hook.
It seems disingenuous for you to suggest that these videos come out that are very damning, that show the people that you trust with content moderation admitting on video that they disadvantage conservatives, that they label people who support the president as a way to push down their content and limit the reach of that content.
Just like the way you've been holding down the Real Talk Show. You don't like it when they push the Trumper. Look, you can't stop the Trump.
For you to then come to us many months later after that was all over the news and the internet and say, well, you know, you'll get back to us and you do a little training, it seems to suggest that you don't take these allegations and this evidence very seriously.
Is it me, or does Mark Zuckerberg look like an Antifa guy right now? Look at that look in his eyes. He doesn't like being told what to do.
would you at least be willing to acknowledge, based on the irrefutable evidence before us that you don't seem to have investigated, that it is possible that at Facebook, your employees do have the power to disadvantage conservative viewpoints, and that they in fact have used that power in ways that we need to root out?
Oh my, Zuckerberg's got his hand in the cookie jar.
Congressman, my testimony in the past and today is about what our principles are as a company and what we try to do.
What you're trying to do is steal an election from Trump.
And when you fire people as a consequence of their politics...
Wait, what?
Do you think that that impacts the culture and perhaps empowers some of the content moderators to also treat people worse as a consequence of their politics?
I'm not aware of any case where we have fired someone on behalf of their politics, and I would say that that would be an inappropriate thing for us to do.
Now, I have it on good authority that they got rid of Ryan for his political leanings as well, but let's listen in to what Matt Gaetz has to say here.
Why did you fire Palmer Luckey? Palmer Luckey's NDA with you, I only have 10 seconds, but Palmer Luckey's NDA with you doesn't allow him to talk to anyone except government officials. I'm a government official. I've seen the messages where you have specifically directed Mr. Luckey to make statements regarding his politics for the benefit of your company.
I'm pretty sure that's a no-no, right?
So I think both in the case of these content moderators and in the case of the testimony you just gave regarding Mr. Luckey and firing people over their politics, there is serious question as to whether or not you're giving truthful testimony here or whether it's lying before Congress. I see my time's expired and I'll yield back.
Bravo! Mr. Gaetz, you have arrived. I can't believe what I just heard. You took Zucks down. Almost like you're a billionaire. Maybe one day you'll be a billionaire, at least 120 millionaire like Pelosi. I don't know. Anyway, look, let's see if there's anything else here.
We certainly try to do this in a way that is neutral to all viewpoints. We want to be a platform for all ideas.
Is that Mark Zuckerberg or Mark Zuckerbat? We're a platform for all, for people to have a voice, everyone but Trump.
I don't think you build a social product with the goal of giving people a voice if you don't believe that people being able to express a wide variety of things is ultimately valuable for the world. And we try to make sure that our policies and our operations ultimately reflect and carry that out.
Then how could you ever censor the Trump when you know the world values everything that I say?
In terms of the people setting the policies, I think it is valuable to have people with a diversity of viewpoints involved so we can make sure that we have the different viewpoints represented in the policy development process.
Guys, look, it's Diversity Mark.
And we also consult with a number of outside groups whenever we develop new policies to make sure that we're taking into account all perspectives.
Are you kidding me? That sounds like something that he just made up.
I mean, you said you reach out to outside groups. Can you think of one conservative outside group that you reach out to and use as a content moderator?
I have to say, this guy's fantastic. His line of questioning gets right to the heart of it.
Congressman,
Did you hear that? Yeah, you're caught out, Mark. I'll tell you, this should be the trial of Mark Zuckerberg.
Real quickly, can you briefly explain the approval process for third-party fact checkers and how many fact checkers does Facebook employ?
We work with about 70 fact-checking partners around the world, and the goal of the program is to limit the distribution of viral hoaxes, so things that are clearly false.
So you're not doctors, but you feel you could censor any doctor who talks about success that they're having on coronavirus. I think that's an overstep of your powers there, Zuckerdick.
We don't ourselves want to be in the business of determining what is true and what is false. That feels like an inappropriate role for us to play.
Says the guy who's playing that role. Look, I have a feeling we're going to have a part 2 of Facebook Zucks, so stay tuned. And I'll see you tomorrow on the next Donald Trump show. Have a great night.
Certificates are available at the box office. Thanks for helping us keep the theater clean. As you exit the auditorium, please deposit litter in trash receptacles in the lobby.
It's Hammerlin Jameson live from the studio, but we're going to take this to Donald Trump for episode 14 of The Donald Trump Show. Welcome and thank you for joining me on episode 14 of The Donald Trump Show. Tonight we're talking about poison again. That's right. Don't drink the poison. Also, don't eat any food prepared by poison. Everything she touches turns to poison. Anyway, I've got some amazing clips for you today of Poison. We're going to see her in action
All
again.
right, we've seen this
Terrible
one already.
human being. Take a look at this one.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, Zucker Chooch censored this show for 5 years in a row every day. Zucker Dick, right? Some people call him Zucker Dick. I call him Zucker Chooch, Zucker Dick, you know. He really is a bit of an asshole, you know. And we're live on his platform and no one's seeing it over there. We had one awesome person come over earlier. So, guys, it's been a show. A little longer than usual, you know, because we get into it here. I'm trying to see if there's a song I could play for you real quick. Not sure what this is. Let's push play on it. Let's see what this is. To take place. Oh, I'm a stranger in this cold place here. I'm looking for answers, I'm looking for queries. Maybe you can tell me if I'm crazy with my theories. I got things running through my mind. Yeah, I can't go a day without getting them off my chest. I don't know about the rest. Oh, but I've been living my truth for 5 years in a row. Got to go, 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 yeah. Don't you stop at the door, no. You gotta keep on going today. Oh, you got to play within the rules, they say, but I like go fuck yourself. You know what I'm talking about. It's like we're living in this crazy world where you can't be you if you want to. Oh, you got to step back and take control, yeah, before you start to roll downhill. Yeah, you know it's gonna spill the beans. Oh, you gotta keep on going. To go, go, go. Yeah, don't stop at the door, no. You got to keep on going. gotta go, go, go. Yeah, you know they're gonna stop it before you get to the door. But you gotta push through. You got to go, go, go. Yeah, you can't stop at the door. No, no, you got to keep on going. Got to go, go, go. Yeah, don't stop at the door. No. Go, go, go. Yeah, don't stop at the door. You got to keep on going. Stop at the door. You got to keep on going. Go, go, go. Yeah, don't stop at the door. No. You got to keep on going. Don't stop at the door. You got to keep on going. So many edits have to be made on this song. Don't stop at the door. You got to keep on going. Yeah, you got to go, go, stop, don't stop at the door. No, no, you got to keep on going. Go, go, go. Don't you stop at the door. You got to keep on going. Don't you go, go, go. Don't stop at the door. You got to keep on going. Get to go, go, go. Yeah. Don't you stop at the door. No, no, no. You got to don't you stop at the door. No. You got to go, go, go. Don't stop at the door. You got to keep on going. Don't you go, go, go. Don't stop at the door. You got to keep on going. Don't you go, go, go. Yeah, don't stop. Oh! I was trying to type thank you. Oh, guys, so that's the end of that. We were in the process. It was right here. Don't you stop at the door. You got to keep on. You got to go, go, go. Don't you stop at the door. No, no. Don't you stop at the door. You got to go, go, go. Yeah, don't you stop at the door. No. You gotta keep on going. I'll make a couple of changes, a couple cleanup edits on that, and it'll be ready to roll. Maybe it makes the next album. We'll see. Oh, goodness. What a show. I had to go for the Audible with the Trump show on there, but glad I could play a piece of music at the end. Thank you for being here tonight, guys. If you can leave a comment after the show, make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you haven't checked, make sure that you have all notifications turned on. That's your best chance to get at least notified when I am live, which will be tomorrow morning. I have to figure out what time I'll be live because there's a delay already for school, and so it's kind of like right when we're in the middle of the show. So I may be on either earlier or it may be earlier because I have freaking Cablevision's coming back to our optimum issues still. Yeah, we really are leaving this time, Barella. You rock. Tomorrow, though, I'll be back at hopefully 8:30ish to put on a show, maybe a little bit later. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll get on for you tomorrow morning. So just make sure you keep notice of that community posts that nobody sees. I'll try to pop one out. You rock, S. Cooperella, NG17. Thank you so much for being here. Let me go over here. I'm just going to rock in here and say goodnight to you. Just need to figure out who's on with us. If If you are here, say goodnight or forever hold your peace. It looks like we're ending our poll. We all know that there are UFOs out there and other silly things going on. Let's see who's here. Oh, thank you so much, Helen Townsend. Guys, Helen Gale Townsend, so happy to have her here with us. It's so awesome seeing you here every day with S-Coop and Barella, and King Kong's been showing up a lot. And if you're out there and you're new, welcome to the show. We're having a lot of fun here. But Renee Woods had to leave a few minutes ago. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Wharton Fissel. Leisure number 7. You guys are all amazing people. I love you guys. Modoc Roughstock. Wolf. Yes, Wolf's in the house, or was in the house. I'm rolling back now, guys. DM Ryan. DM kicks it with us in the morning. Jim Williams. Nice. Guys, Jim Williams was with us tonight as well. That was awesome. All right, I'm going to go try to get some rest. NG17, you rock. NG17's over on the other channel. Appreciate you being over on the Mark Inspires TV channel as well. 77% of you said that, oh yeah. Haven't you seen UAP videos yet? Haven't you seen the alien crafts taking over our skies yet? So thank you guys for being a part of that. I'll try to put a poll out next show as well. In the morning, each show, I'll try to put a poll out. See if we can take some calls tomorrow for the morning show. If you can, join me. Leisure number 7, thank you. NG17, thank you. Barella, thank you. Helen Gale Townsend, thank you. S-Coop, thank you for always sharing links and for being here for me always. And I will see you tomorrow when we do it all over again. Until then, this is the longest running daily variety show. Hope we can continue tomorrow, day 1843 in a row. Until then, you got to go away, yeah. Oh, goodness. Thank you. Have a great night. Joanne, please keep the wheeze down. Gosh,